Now, I like technology, but I don't mind telling you, Kat, there's a few things that I refuse to modernize.
What do you refuse to modernize?
Well, like books, for example. I know people love their e-readers. They like their tablets and all those kind of things, their Kindles, but I love a book in my hands, the pages. I want the full multi-sensory experience.
You know, it's ironic too, because I'm the same and I love to take my books to the beach, which is probably the worst place you could take pieces of paper that are joined together.
So anyway, I was very excited to discover that we have a new bookstore coming to New Zealand. And in fact, it started up here. It's called Book Hero, bookhero.co.nz, and it launched overnight. So joining us from the bleary early hours of this morning through till today, Tim Wackrow from bookhero.co.nz. Good morning.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Good morning, Tim. Congratulations for a start. This sounds really exciting, and I understand that it's been a long time since a bookstore has opened in New Zealand, a new bookstore. So how did this all come to be? What was the inspiration behind Book Hero?
Well, I mean, it was just an idea that a friend and I had only a few months ago. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind adventure going from let's open a bookstore to having a website live and having thousands of books in stock. But yeah, I mean, as Andrew said before, he was preaching to the converted, because we also believe that, physical books still have a place in our homes and in our lives. And we love books. My background is in e-commerce, but all I ever really bought was books. So I thought, well, I'd like to sell books. And I think more books in the world is a good thing. So yeah, we want to get more Kiwis reading. We want to bring more books into New Zealand, and we want to, just continue to grow demand for getting away from our phones and getting away from digital things and reading more.
So is that part of the bigger mission, though? I mean, I think you have raised, as I've talked about as well, maybe one of the biggest things that might come up in somebody's mind in 2024. Why even start a bookstore? I mean, you're also going up against like your Amazons of this world and things like that. So what made you decide that this was the time for an online bookstore that is specific to New Zealand?
Well, absolutely. I mean, there's lots of there's lots of online stores that sell lots of things, but there's not many stores that just sell books. And particularly in this day and age, when there is the likes of e-readers and Kindles and things. But for us, it's we think that a dedicated bookstore still has a place, and going to a place where you can browse books and look at books is, I think, really important. The main reason being is that there's millions of books, so being able to curate them and shop them and browse them in a way that's kind of meaningful is still has a place in the online space. So we think that books are still hot and people still buy books and read books. And I know I do. I have about 700 of my own. So yeah, we think there's still a place for an online bookstore. And I think New Zealand needs a good dedicated online bookstore.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think, I don't want to sound too apocalyptic, but let's just say if we did have some sort of epic technological meltdown like we were promised in Y2K,
yeah,
we would be so at a loss with all the cultural resources that we have, the history, the wealth of fiction and the arts and all this beauty. We would lose if we just relied on that digital storage. There's something to be said for having those physical copies around us. What's going to be different about your bookstore, Tim?
Well, I think that the thing that we're aiming for long term is to have the largest range in New Zealand. So the supply chain in New Zealand for books is a bit tricky because most of the books from suppliers are stored in the UK, US, and Australia. And even if even trying to get books into New Zealand for our store, we're faced with kind of 6 to 8 week waiting periods just to get the books into our warehouse. So for us, like, our driver is to try and hold as many books as possible. Obviously, we have to start somewhere. We've got over 10,000 books already, but the plan is to just continue to grow that and have books available and ready to ship really quickly to Kiwis. So I think that will be our main point of difference, is our range and what we hold in stock in New Zealand.
Well, also, I think the speed in which people can get them, though, right? Because I'm used to ordering a book online from, like you say, your Amazons or whoever it might be, and then knowing I've got at least a week, 2, 3, depending on, who's awake in the warehouse or not. If I order from you, Tim, when do I get the book?
Overnight, Andrew. Yeah, that's the great thing about having it in our Auckland warehouse. We can put it in a box and get it away straight away. And we do pickups too in our Hobsonville warehouse.
That is so fantastic. Now, I understand that you are celebrating your launch with something special. So could you share that with us?
Yes, you can enter the draw to win a year of free books. So we're going to run that through to the end of October, and yeah, all you have to do is sign up, and you're in the draw. So that's a book a month for a year for the lucky winner.
Fantastic. Well, look, the website is bookhero.co.nz. It's made in New Zealand, and Tim, we're just stoked to be able to talk to you about it this morning. All the best with bookhero.co.nz.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me on and letting me talk about it.
Thank you.
Amazing. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss the next video.
We'll see you in the next one.